Welcome back, game designers. We are going into the second phase of the class in the week two. So let's review what we've done, and I'll have a separate video just specifically on the responses so far. What we've done so far is we've just had a brief discussion on your favorite games, animation, 3D art. You had the first video start here. We had some research discussion on your favorite game designers. So that's going really nicely. So I'll be making comments for everybody there, and we can continue those conversations. Getting started with pen and paper, you've hopefully collected together some basic materials, the minimum being, pencil, paper, ruler, probably want some tape and some scissors, index cards, all the other stuff supplemental. Continually posting open office hours. If no one's showing up, I'll probably change the dates or hours or see what else might make sense. Upcoming assignments, you have inspiration or reference mood boards and discussion, which is due on the 13th. Today is the 10th on Monday. And you also have researching flow state, so playing your favorite game and trying to identify what parts, so at what moments in the game you're reaching flow state, which you're supposed to be in an unconscious state, but trying to discover that is part of what it takes to become a game designer. Okay, the also on there, let me just look at the book portion. So if you go to modules here, and it's not assigned officially, but if you go down to your end of week one, you have the chapters. So again, chapters one and two, really light. You could just skim through them a bit. It just goes over like the role of the game designer. It's 44 pages, but it's really about 12 pages of reading. It's a lot of pictures, interviews with game designers. I give you the cliff notes here. You want to, what it means to get set up, and designing for innovation is just kind of a spiel they do in the book. The third one, though, is the important chapter. So, chapter three, work with your formal elements. So, understanding the different configurations of your players. These are really important. Your objectives. So, these are kind of the dogma from this particular book, which is capture, chase, race, alignment, rescue, forbidden, act, construction, exploration, trying to come up with a solution from some like a puzzle, and outwit. The procedures and the rules, the resources is also something I think this is pretty self-explanatory, but having these lists helps a lot. What types of conflicts you can have. So you should have that read. That's about 30 pages, and actual reading page maybe 15 or 20. So you only had hopefully about 30 some odd pages to read over the weekend to get you up to speed. You can always come back, play some catch up on this one. The week two modules I'll have posted later, a bit later today. But the reference and inspiration mood board is the next one. So you want to make sure it's landscape. You want 3 to 6 images per page. You want to label each image with at least a single word or phrase. And you want to name and save your reference boards correctly. So the topics, the regular ones I've had is what, who, style, where, and then I added the game kinesthetics. We can add the fill in there. Here's your sample from the World of Mush, my like generic little mushroom character sample I like to use. This also goes through, we'll get into the character analysis and story, but the tridimensional character, don't worry about that too much. Each of these are kind of crammed onto one page. So this row of, 2 rows of 3 images, 6 images here, a few more here. This is for what, so mushroom person, or, and then actual images of real mushrooms is usually what you need for the what. The style, I kind of mixed together some limbo, some film noir, and then if you look at these next two, this is more what I'm looking for from what you would actually turn in. So one page by itself just for who. So who for Mush, he's like a rugged spelunker, a herbalist, hermit, explorer, and so I took Jules Verne's Captain Nemo, or Phileas Fogg, classic hermit archetype from a tarot card, a grimy digger. I watched the movie Pig, the Truffle Pig Digger. Thought quite a good movie, very interesting. Swampy dwelling, Yoda dwelling, of a hermit explorer, someone who's on the outdoors. The link to the slides are here. Let's just make sure everything's working. There you go. So you have live link. You can always go in here and you can feel free to make a copy. Just make it your own. Don't just swap the image out, but rearrange it, make it your own in some way. So that should be what you're working on now, as well as the flow state research. So just take a look at that. again. And so the flow state research would be from the Genova Chen research document. So post a discussion, describe the gameplay in the flow state from your chosen game. And how does it get you into the flow state? What series of events within the game, what triggers, what powers, what interface options, which story elements are happening to get you into that most fun portion of the game? And how do they contribute to getting you there? And then what's happening with the difficulty levels when you're going through? How are you trained to, not just fumble miserably if the challenge gets too hard based on your ability or your skill with the game? And then how do those things progress? So just a discussion. Your thoughts on this is it's pretty open-ended, so don't feel too much pressure. Just do it and write what you feel. It's just your opinion in your game, so there's no harsh criticisms happening there. The newer ones coming up, we're going to get into from the chapter 6. I'm going to pop in here for weeks 2. You should see that a little bit later today. We're getting into the book notes here. So 6 and 7 is doing the concept. So we're going to brainstorm and do some prototyping videos today. So the flow state book from Haley talks about preparation. So you should have done your preparation, you've done your research. Typo. Uh, you should have your goals that you want. What is your intention? Should have some preparation with your kit that you put together, your game design kit. You've also had a chance to look at the portion on the game up here for game engines minimum requirements. So by now you should have selected one of these game engines. Again, I'm going to use Unreal Engine, but you're welcome to use any of these other game engines that could be lightweight. Most of them should be free. Godot's the backup, I think, of choice that I would recommend. Twine if you want to get really focused in writing. So again, those are there. It's not a formal assignment yet, but I will be today. So giving you kind of a heads up on that. So that way you can let that incubate and you can evaluate. And then we're going to get into the brainstorm here in just a moment. So we're going to do some whiteboarding listing. So we're going to do some list creation. So make a challenge for yourself, like what type of game would you like to make in any kind of loose terms or any other challenge? Like I want to make something that is interactive and fun, that's more of a family game, that's more of a party game, that is scary and rough or more adult themed. Like state your challenge to yourself. Vary up the methods, have a playful environment for yourself. Put it on the wall, print some stuff up, get your whiteboards, get your printouts, get your extra monitors involved so you can pull up your collages and go for lots of ideas. Don't go too long too. Take a break after an hour or two. Let it settle in and sit down and actually play around with stuff. Don't go for 3 or 4 hours. It tends to drag on, and then you might start making bad decisions if you're still trying to be creative with it. So we could jump into list creation. You'll be provided this list here. So you saw the list of actual objectives from the game design book: capture, chase, race, alignment, rescue, forbid net construction. These ones here. Beyond that, though, you're welcome to go into ChatGPT or do some searches. So these are some of the list subjects we look at today. So objective, theme, genre, challenge, and settings. Just do some my typo fixes as we go. So I just typed into ChatGPT 30 single word player objectives for a game, and this is the list that came up. And it does a pretty good job of skimming, all the searches and posts and boards out there on the internet and putting amalgamation of pretty good lists. So ChatGPT is just another research tool. Don't be afraid of it. If you're just letting it write for you, then it will become painfully obvious if you try and do anything professional. So use it as a part of your research tool, but not too much more than that at this point. Here's some of the themes. So fantasy, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic horror, Western, espionage, mystery, adventure, dystopian. Great themes here. Genre of game. There's tons of genres. It used to be you were just either one or the other. You're just an RPG or just an action game. Now you could be action adventure, RPG, strategy, puzzler. You can really push things together to with a shooter element. And be horror. So go for it. Like it's a brainstorming. You have freedom, absolute freedom when you do this. So have fun with this. Um, Top 30 challenges that players might face within a game. Again, this is ChatGPT. I've refined the searches a couple times, but I'm gonna leave that to you. Settings, 100 unique settings for a game, post-apocalyptic underwater kingdom, dystopian society, high fantasy kingdom. There's a nice list that goes down here. This list I have provided to you, I will provide to you in the world level design and world building process, which we're going to do in week 3. But I'll give you access to the documents early. So here's the world of level design. This is to help you brainstorm new level design locations. It's 121 level design and game environment locations. So this is an airport, a boathouse, a desert, factories. These are usually real world locations. So this is really helpful to have a real place that you can research and find places. And then I'll give you some of the other documentations here. Here's a modular kit of pieces and parts. I won't get into that too much though, so let me just stop right there. And then, so once you've read chapters 6 and 7 and you're ready to do your brainstorm, we'll also look at idea cards and mind mapping, and then turning it into a game and actually doing the paper prototype part. So we looked at the reference boards, and then once you've got pretty far into this and you've got your whiteboard set up, we will then look at making your one pagers. So one pager, here's just a really generic layout that has some categories for you to go in and enter. So you could put in your objectives, your challenges, any core mechanic. And then I kind of did a sub box underneath the core mechanic for other design cores, other major design game mechanics, visual style, genre, and theme. I lumped them together. You can break them apart. I also put together character and setting and story. Each of these, I mean, this is just a one pager, so any of these could be broken out into their own individual piece, or you could squish them together. So that's what I'm trying to demonstrate here. Um, all the different ways you could do your game summary. It could be a premise, it could be a high concept, it could be a log line, a tagline, a catchphrase. Think of, the back of the box or Steam descriptions, what you would have, and then one box for graphics on there. So you'll take what you have and you'll put them into this type of format. And so let's go ahead and get started and let's brainstorm on the whiteboard and see what we can come up with.